Welcome back to Tech Forward, our podcast series where we talk with leaders across our business about the key components of the retirement plan experience for advisors, plan sponsors, and savers, and the impact of technology today and in the future. I'm Jennifer Root, your host. I'm VP of Marketing Strategy here at Ascensus. And in today's episode, we're focusing on one of the most important and ever evolving areas in the retirement plan ecosystem, the participant digital experience. We're joined by three of our experts here at Ascensus who share a passion for helping more savers save more. Rose McGroarty, Senior Vice President, Digital Experience, Sravan Muthiraj, Vice President and Product Capability Leader for the Participant Experience, and Sam Gilsrud, Product Owner for the ReadySave mobile app. The key themes we're going to talk about today are the current saver digital landscape, best practices in the saver digital experience, the unique role of mobile, and lastly, the evolution of the saver digital experience and a look ahead. So with that, let's jump right in. Rose, Sravan, Sam, thank you all for being here today. You each play a unique and pivotal role in making the retirement plan journey easier for participants or savers, as we prefer to think about who we're really helping. All right, let's dive in. Sravan, savers have become really comfortable using web and mobile devices for so much of their financial lives. Is there anything unique about the retirement plan digital experience and some hurdles that must be overcome to be successful in this particular space?
Thanks, Jennifer. That's a great question. Retirement savers embark on a 40-year saving journey, right? People are consistently engaging digitally day to day across many experiences, which is reshaping their expectation. So we're not just competing with other retirement platforms. Instead, we are competing with their latest digital experience, right? So now when you apply that to retirement digital experience, I think it goes beyond just providing transactionability. It's really emphasized on future goals and smarter decisions today. So in contrast, when you think about banking, usually people approach banking with the mindset of I know what I need to do and I know where my money is. In retirement, many savers face different kind of hurdles, but most are unsure of what to do now, whether they're making the right decisions or even how their plan works. They lack clarity, right? The goal is to make the experience feel less like a system of record, more like a financial navigator guiding them when, where, how they want help. And again, I think I want to clarify by that, I don't mean making decisions for them or
Mhm.
replacing a financial advisor, but really think of this as providing more tools and in context education that allows them to make better decisions.
All right, that's a really interesting perspective. Rose, from your part of the shop, you've described your team's work as user-infused design, and I really love that term. How does knowing more about the saver's emotional starting point inform the design of the digital retirement plan experience?
Yeah, we have a really good understanding about what the most common scenarios are for our savers, and they do hit two very different ends of the emotional spectrum. On one hand, most of the visits are simple balance checking, but also, and the more emotionally charged items are when they're visiting at important life milestones and in reaction to or in preparation for those life events. And they're really emotionally charged moments where financial decision making is super important. We want to ensure that we're meeting each participant, each person where they are, and helping them understand where they stand financially with their retirement plan, if they're on the right track, and how we can support them in their overall financial health during these important decision points. We're also aware that savers visit the retirement sites infrequently, so it's essential that when they do come and engage with us, we're providing clear information, just in time education, and strong options for them in a really intuitive flow.
Love that. All right, Sravan, back to you for a minute.
Mhm.
What are some potential misconceptions or challenges related to participant digital experiences?
That's a good question because what many assume to be an ideal experience is not actually the case. First, more is not more.
Mhm.
As Rose said earlier, Most savers are not frequently visiting the retirement plan site or looking for more features and more data. They're trying to understand, am I okay? Am I doing the right thing? What should I do next? So we can strive for maximizing clarity for key moments. One of the biggest mistakes financial apps make is assuming more choices equal more empowerment. In reality, that creates self doubt, decision paralysis.
Mhm.
Providing clarity reduces friction and hesitation.
All right. You said the word du jour in our industry, friction. It's so popular right now. Can you give us a real world example of what that really means in the saver experience?
Absolutely. I mean, think of saving for retirement is a long journey, right? With different moments. Think of enrolling, increasing savings, taking money out, updating investments, preparing for retirement. So I do feel for the savers because there is just so much that they have to go through. The digital experience should recognize where a saver is in their journey and guide them accordingly. So one good example is if they're seeing messaging, information, and digital experiences that are too generalized, and the path to learning more or taking action is unclear, they often go and hire workarounds. Think of
Mhm.
ChatGPT, think of Google, and calling friends and family. Those are all moments of friction because the platform is not providing them, the experience is not providing them clarity. They're relying on other areas to go and get that information. That is friction because that's delaying their ability to be on the right plan, right track, right, and achieve the outcomes they want to achieve.
Okay, so it sounds like we really need to and want to reduce potential confusion and barriers. Sam, can you talk a little bit about how we approach doing this?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it starts with being really intentional about what we surface and when. Instead of trying to show everything at once, we focus on what matters most in that moment. And the
Hmm.
goal is really to make it immediately clear where someone should start so the experience feels useful to them and not overwhelming.
Yeah, and to double down on that, it's not that deeper dives aren't available in a click or two, but we take a layered and progressive approach to learning that. It builds confidence without slowing the saver down on their chosen path.
I love that idea of layered and progressive learning. It makes it feel so much less overwhelming to me as a participant.
Yeah, exactly. So when the participant experience feels clear and manageable, it builds confidence. Having clear language, visual hierarchy, and a sense of progression all signal that someone is on the right path, which helps them feel comfortable taking the next step.
All right. So, Sravan, how are we measuring success at all of this? How are we measuring success in the participant digital experience?
Again, you asked me all these amazing questions. I'm excited to answer all this. I think success from a participant digital experience comes down to one simple thing. Are we helping savers feel more confident and more prepared for retirement, right? Whether it's about the right experience at the right moment, such as enrolling in a plan, increasing contribution, or taking money out when life happens, right? Or the experience should feel simple, clear, and guided. So we also look at engagement differently as a result of that. It's not just about logins and clicks, it's about whether participants are taking meaningful action and whether the experience is reducing hesitation and uncertainty, right? And finally, I think a good digital experience should create better downstream conversation and client satisfaction. When savers talk to advisors and employers, we want them to feel more informed, more confident, and are more ready to act.
That makes perfect sense. Rose, does the user experience team measure success and how?
Yeah, absolutely. And really, we've been in a transformation where we're fundamentally changing how we measure success. Instead of just celebrating the availability of features, we're focusing on driving the end user outcomes, measuring if they're taking the action to improve their savings based on their personal situation. We make sure that we're focusing not just on availability, but on accuracy, the speed to complete tasks, the end user satisfaction, accessibility, so that The software is available for everyone to use, and the platform is available for everyone. How easy is it to discover the capabilities and successful completion of those actions? We do this through data and through direct feedback. We prompt our savers and participants with the client effort score. So after they're done completing an important task, we'll ask them how easy or difficult it was for them. So they can provide that feedback real time as they've just experienced the flow. And if they want to provide additional information and a note to help guide us in the right direction, they're also welcome to do that as well.
And if a clear, intuitive experience on a plan website is important, the mobile app must really put these ideas of intuitive experience and simplicity even more at the forefront of design thinking when you think about the fact that you just have a small screen to work with. And yet, because everybody is on their phones more and more, solving for this is really imperative. So, Sam, why has mobile become such a critical entry point for savers?
Yeah, that's a great question, Jennifer. So mobile has really become the entry point because, as Sravan mentioned earlier, it's where retirement shows up alongside everything else people are already doing on their phones. We've also removed a lot of friction to just logging in. So we have things like biometrics and simple access. With those, someone can check their account in seconds, anytime and anywhere. But really, the bigger shift we're seeing is how people engage. Most of these interactions are short, real world moments where someone is checking in and looking for a quick sense of direction. And in those moments, we want to make sure they're not wanting to click through a lot of screens or navigate a complex experience. They want a quick read on where things are at and what they should consider doing next. That really changes what a good experience looks like. And we are definitely seeing that play out in the data as well. We see that participants who download and use ReadySave engage with their retirement plans at a much higher rate, which really reflects how easy it is to jump in and get what you need in those moments.
Very great point, Sam. I want to add a little bit. I think, in addition, I feel like mobile helps savers find answers quickly in uncertain moments, which eases anxiety, right? I think giving that real-time information helps them on the go. And if you think about it from a website perspective, it's expecting you to go to a computer and then engage there. And that could sometimes be disengaging because you have to take those steps. But in case of a mobile, it's in your hand, you're looking at it every day, accessing those key data points may be just enough for you to move on with your day and do other things.
So the idea of quick and clear is interesting because we often think of success, especially in the marketing world. How long did they engage with the experience? But it sounds like for some interactions, short sessions is actually better.
Yeah, absolutely. Short sessions definitely do not mean low value. And in many cases, they're actually the moments that matter most. So someone might only have 30 seconds, but as we already stated, that's enough time to either build confidence or create doubt. And it's definitely not about how long someone stays. It's more about whether they can quickly get that answer, a clear read on their situation, what they should consider doing next. And when that's clear, a really quick interaction can move someone forward in a meaningful way.
That makes sense. Rose, we've talked a lot about listening to user behaviors and meeting those moments that matter. How does that thinking show up in something tangible like ReadySave?
Yeah, sure. We're really passionate about helping our savers understand the potential impact of their decisions, for better or for worse, before they take an action. We mentioned mobile app users may be inclined to visit their plan quickly and then act quickly. So we designed what we call the consequence simulator to help the users in these moments. This allows us to show the savers the financial implications of their choices using their own data so they can make a more informed decision with confidence. The consequence simulators, that's an internal term we use, but it's displayed to savers when they attempt to lower their savings rate. So we'll interrupt them with a screen that shows them the actual difference in their paycheck today versus the difference in their monthly retirement projection. And this helps them understand both the short-term and long-term implications of that decision. And in doing this, we were actually able to deflect up to 30% of savers from decreasing the rate just by giving them their real information.
Wow.
Yeah, and that guidance, really without any judgment, right? It's just saying these are the facts, please make your own choice. It really goes a long way in building trust and confidence in the overall plan experience.
Yeah, I would also add that one of the ways we know this is working is by looking at how the experience is being received overall. We're constantly learning from how people interact, but from also how they respond to the experience as a whole. A good example of this is our App Store rating for Ready Save, which is currently at a 4.9 star average. It reflects that we're listening, continuing to make improvements, and delivering something that feels useful to participants. And it's definitely not just about individual features. It's about consistently refining the experience so it feels easier, clearer, and more helpful over time.
Well, that's a great segue to my next question for you then, Sam. What problems is ReadySave focused on helping solve next?
Yeah, it's a great question. So a big focus for us is continuing to expand both personalization and adding new capabilities at the moments that matter. In practice, this means giving savers more control within the app so they can take meaningful action right when they need to. So really, as we look ahead, savers will continue to see new capabilities added to ReadySave that expand what they can manage over time.
Rose, we've talked a little bit about user feedback. How does user feedback from advisors, sponsors, or participants influence how the participant experience evolves as we look to the future?
Yes, really, feedback is essential to how the experience evolves. We talk to savers frequently. We test our new design concepts with them to ensure that they're meeting the real world expectations and their needs, and we're not falling short of meeting those expectations. We also talk with advisors and plan sponsors because they play key roles in sharing where participants need more clarity or reassurance. And all of that feedback from each of those audiences really helps us prioritize improvements that genuinely make the experience easier to use and more effective.
Let's take a minute and just talk a little bit more about what all of this means to plan sponsors and advisors. There's kind of like a cascade up, if you will, from the participant experience.
Yeah, absolutely. A better participant experience means that savers are more informed and more confident. So the advisor conversations with those participants starts higher. Guidance lands a little faster and the relationship feels more valuable. There's less confusion and more confidence for participants, which also means more user and client satisfaction with the plan. And that creates a halo effect for the advisor, which can be valuable when there's potential for retirement plan and wealth connectivity for those advisors. A smoother participant experience also saves the plan sponsor and advisor valuable time in explaining the plan. And then, more specific to the plan sponsor, a better participant experience enhances the retirement plan benefit that that employer offers and its value to the saver and an employer offering the plan.
All right. Well, this has been a great conversation. I really feel like you have all shared interesting and unique views. I hope you feel like it's been time well spent, but we're not letting you off the hook. I'm going to ask you to predict the future. Um, how do you see the participant experience evolving? Rose will put you in the hot seat first.
Yeah, sure. The experience is evolving to focus on personalized opportunities. This isn't one size fits all. So we're going to support and meet the savings goals of each individual. This will be a balance of providing information that the users expect when they visit the app or the website, such as having quick access to their balance, but then also delighting them by sharing opportunities that they may not have been exposed to or even considered.
Love that. Thank you. Sam, how does this look from where you sit?
Yeah, I think the big shift, especially from a mobile perspective, is from insight to action. The more that we enable savers to actually do something in the moment, the more confident and prepared they'll become on their retirement journey.
All right, Sravan, overseer of the product participant experience. What's your take on what the future holds?
Yeah, I mean, I think from a retirement landscape perspective, I think change is coming from, again, it's driven by regulation, think Secure 2.0, evolving participant needs, as Rose mentioned and Sam are talking to, right? Think emergency savings, account aggregation needs, simplicity, right? And then rapid technology advancements like AI. It's like, how do you leverage AI to drive the next set of personalizations? I think the next frontier for participant experience is, alluding to Rose's point, one powered by data and highly personalized to one's own retirement journey. Cookie cutter is not going to work anymore. We have to understand where people are coming from and deliver a much more personalized experience than before. And I do want to say I am thrilled to be part of this team and this journey of transforming the participant experience at Ascensus.
If you had to sum up all of this underlying product and experience philosophy into one sentence, could you do that?
That's a tough question. Let me try it. Maybe I have some ideas. We're not trying to create a perfect saver. We're trying to help people make progress, right? One step at a time, feel more confident along the way, and that they are actually focused on their outcomes. We want more people to be on the right track for a fantastic retirement journey.
All right, I think that was 2 sentences, but we'll take it. Thank you so much for joining us on Tech Forward today. As I mentioned before, we're all participants in our own retirement journey. We can't wait to see what the future holds as you and your teams bring today's insights to life.